Crashing out. Crashing out is a term that was just ruined by Generation Z. It basically means attacking somebody or acting completely crazy without disregards for any consequences. And that is the premise of this video. We're going to be looking at the biggest crash outs ever. The first the first person on my list who's literally the definition of a crash out is TK47. If you don't know who TK is, he was a rapper based out of Arlington, Texas, and he did a bunch of crazy things. On July 25th, 2016, TK and a couple other people would rob a house, but the robbery quickly turned deadly as one of TK's friends would shoot and kill the homeowner of the house. His name was Ethan Walker. After the robbery took place, TK went on the run, but a week later he was apprehended by police. Because TK was only 16 years old, he was put on house arrest before his trial started. He was on house arrest for 8 months, and during that time, he was really going through it mentally. I mean, think about it. He was 16 years old and he was charged with murder. He was broke, had no lawyer, and it was probably going to go away for a long, long time. So on March 2017, TK would infamously tweet, "Fuck this house arrest shit. Fuck 12. They're gonna have to catch me on hood." Shortly after he tweeted that, he cut off his ankle monitor and went on the run. When he was on the run, he killed another person named Anthony Saladar. They were trying to rob him of his video equipment, and then the robbery quickly turned deadly as TK tried to run him over with his car, and then whenever that didn't work, TK got out of the car and shot him dead, allegedly. And then a couple days after that incident, TK would rob an innocent old man out of his money. He would pistol whip him and point a gun at him, and then he would rob him for all his stuff. Because of all the stuff that he was doing, TK couldn't stay in Texas anymore. So him and one of his friends, they drove all the way to New Jersey, which was a 23-hour car ride. They were in New Jersey and they were basically staying in a bunch of empty trap houses. See, you would think that TK would lay low during this time, but no. When he was in New Jersey, he would promote his music, and because the story was so crazy, it got a lot of media attention. His music was blowing up, and he was even talking to record labels about signing a deal. But his peak would happen when he made the music video for the race. The music video for the race was just crazy. The beginning of the video starts off with him smoking a blunt in front of his wanted poster, him and his friends pointing a bunch of guns at the camera, him throwing gang signs, and just being outright disrespectful. The crazy thing about it is that a couple hours after the music video for the race dropped, he would get arrested. Like, that has to be a Hollywood script. How do you get arrested the same day you drop a music video? Anyway, he would get extradited back to Texas, and then a year or two later, he would get convicted for the murder of Ethan Walker. He was sentenced to 55 years in prison, and that's just one murder. There was another murder that he committed when he was on the run, the murder that I talked about, when he killed that videographer. He still hasn't been convicted for that, and he still hasn't been convicted for robbing an old man. The fact that he was so young is just crazy to me. Yeah, TK is a straight fucking menace. If he's not the definition of a crash out, I don't know what is. I'm gonna give TK 95 black Air Forces out of 100. Okay, the next person on my list who is even a bigger crash out than TK is OJ Simpson. OJ Simpson was a football running back, and he's one of the greatest running backs of all time. He's actually one of the greatest athletes of all time. But nobody will ever remember him for that. He'll always be remembered for the trial for the murder of his wife. On June 12, 1994, O.J. Simpson's ex-wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and her friend, Ronald Goldman, were found dead in Nicole Simpson's house. Everybody thought that it was O.J. Simpson who committed the murder because there was a bunch of evidence supporting that fact. On June 14th, 1994, OJ went on his infamous 60-mile police chase. During the police chase, he pointed a gun at his head and told people he kept screaming, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Not only that, but leading up to that police chase and leading up to the trial, OJ Simpson was acting very erratic. Everybody thought that he was guilty. I mean, there was a bunch of forensic evidence that proved that he was the one that committed the murders. Everybody thought that he was for sure gonna go to jail. The trial lasted for 8 months. It lasted from January 24 to October 3rd, 1995. And the crazy thing is that he was found not guilty of the murder of his wife Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend Ronald Goldman. This was a crazy time in America because 150 million people watched the verdict. That is a world record. That was 60% of the American population. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so you think after, committing the heist of the century, literally getting away with murder allegedly, he would keep his head down. But no, over the years, OJ Simpson did a bunch of crazy things after the murder case of his ex-wife. One of the crazy things that he did was write a book called If I Did It. If I Did It. The book basically talked about how he would again, hypothetically, commit the murders. And honestly, if you watch the interviews while he's trying to promote this book, it's honestly the creepiest thing ever. If have you guys ever seen those interviews with serial killers and the interviewer is literally scared that they're gonna get attacked? Yeah, that's literally what the interview for If I Did It was like. That's not even the crazy thing, because you think after he got away with the murder of his wife, he would just keep his head down. But no, he made the book If I Did It. And in 2007, he was convicted for 12 counts of armed robbery and 2 counts of kidnapping. He was sentenced to 33 years in prison. He only spent 9 years in prison, and I say only nine because, bro, this guy should have been locked up for the rest of his life. He was freed in 2017, and then, a lot of y'all know, he recently passed away. Yeah, rest in peace, OJ Simpson, but this guy was the definition of a fucking crash out. I'm gonna give him 100 Black Air Forces out of 100. Like, this man had the world in the palm of his hand and decided to throw it all away. And even after he was given a second chance, he said, nah, let me just fuck it up even more. Yeah, but yeah, RIP OJ Simpson, and please don't end up like he is. Okay, the next person on this list who was a certified crash out and was also an athlete is Ron Artest. If you don't know who Ron Artest is, he was an NBA basketball player. He was a really good defender, and he's best known for his time with the Los Angeles Lakers. He's an NBA champion. He won the NBA championship in 2010 alongside Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace, Kobe. Yeah, Baron Artest, he was known as one of the craziest players of all time. Later in his career, he kind of changed his image. He was like a fun, goofy guy. But early in his career, he was known to be a little bit unhinged. On November 19th, 2004, the Detroit Pistons, were playing the Indiana Pacers. The Pacers were winning the game, and like late in the fourth quarter, Ron Artest fouled Ben Wallace. Because of this, Ben Wallace got really pissed and pushed Artest across the NBA court. This caused a really big brawl on the court, and Ron Artest, and nobody knows why he did this to this day. Ron Artest decided to sit on the scores table. He laid there on the scores table, trying to calm himself down. Ron Artest said he did this because he knew that he had a crazy personality. He knew that he was kind of unhinged, so he wanted to take himself out of the situation. So Ron Artest, he was laying on the scores table, and this is whenever a Detroit Pistons fan threw a beer at him. Ron Artest got so fucking mad, he ran to the stands and beat the shit out of the fan. The thing is that he beat the people think he beat up the wrong fan, but that wasn't the case because the person that threw him the drink, the guy that Artest beat up, he bet his friend $50 to throw the drink at Artest, and the guy did it. But yeah, Ron Artest went onto the stands and decided and absolutely beat the shit out of the fans. Because of this, a bunch of fans ran on the court and started attacking the Indiana Pacers. It wasn't just Ron Artest and guys like Jermaine O'Neal and Steven Jackson. They started fighting too. This was a really bad look for the NBA because their players literally assaulted a bunch of fans. Because of this, Ron Artest was suspended for almost the whole entire season. He was suspended for 70 games, 70 regular season games, and 15 playoff games. Yeah, a year later, he was traded to the Sacramento Kings, and he had a really good season, but people only seen him as a crazy guy. In 2006, in 2000, I think in 2009, he played for the Houston Rockets, and then in 2010, he signed with the Lakers, where he won a championship. And he kind of changed his whole personality. People looked at him as a crazy guy, but then they saw him as a goofy character. But he still had his moments, like when he elbowed the shit out of James Harden for like literally no reason. Like to this day, nobody knows why he elbowed the fuck out of James Harden. But yeah, Ron Artest, he was one of those crazy guys in the NBA. He was one of those guys that like actually came from the trenches. Like you did, everybody knew not to fuck with him. Yeah, for Ron Artest, I'm gonna give him 89 Black Air Forces out of 100. He didn't really do anything outside the NBA. It's just what he did when he was on the court. He acted like a complete maniac. Okay, now the last person on my list, who I think is a complete fucking crash out, is Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia is a boxer and he's a really good boxer. Nobody knows when it started, but right before his fight with Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia was acting very different. See, early in his career, Ryan Garcia was like the typical boxer. He was the typical celebrity. He was well mannered, well spoken. Everybody seemed to like him, and he was a genuinely nice guy. But then, after his fight with Gervonta Davis, he kind of changed. Well, not right after his fight with Tank Davis. It was right before his fight with Devin Haney. See, in interviews, people noticed that his voice was really deep and that he was slurring his words a lot. Not only that, but his face was very, very bloated. And when he was promoting the fight with Devin Haney, he was acting completely crazy. He was swearing, he was drinking in the press conferences. He was just saying a bunch of crazy shit. But the thing is that everybody thought that Ryan Garcia lost his mind. Like seriously, everybody thought that this man was crazy. But that's not all he did. He would tweet a bunch of conspiracy theories, and he said that he had videos proving that there were children being attacked, that there were aliens, that the Illuminati was real. He kept claiming that he had all these videos, all this evidence that could put people away for years, but he never showed it. Because of all these antics leading up to the Devin Haney fight, a lot of people thought that Ryan Garcia was gonna lose. Like literally, everybody thought that he was gonna lose. And then when the fight happened, he beat Devin Haney. Like he beat him, he whooped his ass. Like he dominated him. Like there's no way for me to describe it. Like he literally dominated him. And then in an interview right after the fight, Ryan Garcia said that it was all part of his plan. He said that he wanted to act crazy because he wanted to bet on himself. If you don't know, boxing is the only sport where you can legally bet on yourself. You can't bet on yourself to lose for obvious reasons, because then everybody would just throw away the fight. But he bet on himself, and he reportedly he put a $2 million bet, and he made $12 million out of it, which is absolutely fucking crazy. Because of this, everybody started saying that he was a genius. Like everybody did a 180 right after the Devin Haney fight. But then a couple days later, it was found that he had steroids in his system. A lot of people say that he shouldn't have been penalized for it because they said that he took he didn't know what he was putting in his body. But nonetheless, his victory against Devin Haney was ruled a no contest, which basically means it doesn't affect none of the boxers' records. But that wasn't the reason why I call him a crash out. It's because he went online and said some crazy, crazy things about different races. I can't even repeat what he said because then my channel will get demonetized. But yeah, Ryan Garcia said a bunch of fucked up things and he was actually kicked out of boxing. The thing is that his family say they don't know what's up with him. They don't know why he's acting like this. Like even his father said that, which is actually kind of sad because Ryan Garcia was very talented and he was one of my favorite boxers to watch. Even leading up to that fight, it was just crazy the way he was acting. But yeah, Ryan Garcia is a fucking crash out. Okay, I'm gonna give him 90. I'm gonna give him 90 Black Air Forces out of 100. Because Jesus H fucking Christ, what the hell was he thinking? I don't even know what he was thinking. He was acting crazy. He acted crazy and it actually paid off because he got hella rich off of it. And then he decided to throw it all away by saying the most out of pocket things. I can't show y'all the audio because I will get demonetized. But if you go online and look it up, you're gonna see what I'm talking about. But yeah, that was my list. The biggest crash outs of all time. If you guys like this video, leave a comment, leave a like. If you guys think this list is ass, leave a comment. I'll read all comments. But yeah, making these videos is literally the highlight of my day. Please subscribe, please leave a like, please leave a comment, and I'll see y'all in the next one. See y'all.